Welcome to Yagba's Epic Tales. King Egwage knows that the sacred bead on his daughter's neck means she becomes the sacrificial maiden for the festival that year. He groaned loudly and inquired from his daughter why she took the bead and wore it. He shook her vehemently, hoping to get her to speak. Princess Adesua, on realizing what danger looms, got confused and tried to explain to her father, the chief priest, and everyone around what happened and who gave her the bead and why she wore it. She tried to use her hand to demonstrate that it was a palace maid who had given the sacred bead to her, but all her efforts were futile as no one understood her and she could not point out the palace maid. Osarime had stayed away from the gathering, knowing that Princess Adesua would not be able to point her out and tell who it was because of her condition. And so it was decided that Princess Adesua would embark on the journey of no return on the last day of the festival, as she is now the sacrificial maiden. Princess Adesua, knowing she would die very soon, decided to take a walk alone to mourn her last days in her father's palace and on earth. Before now, she always remained in the palace and would barely go out for fear of being mocked. But now, all she wanted was to be alone, away from the cruelty of the world she was born into. She walked down alone to the stream. However, her personal maid watched from a distance. She sat under a mango tree by the stream, but something strange happened. Princess Adesua could hear a sound. Unsure of what was happening, she sat still to observe again. There, it was a sweet and melodious sound. The sound she was hearing sounded so sweet in her ears, and it suited her soul. Princess Adesua was lost in the ecstasy of the sound that she didn't realize there was a man standing in front of her, until her personal maid, who had been watching from afar, ran towards her for fear of the strange man hurting her mistress. Adesua stood up, startled by the sudden rush. She became more frightened when she saw the strange man in front of her. "Have they come to get me already?" she thought to herself. "Do not be scared. I mean no harm. I saw that she enjoys the melody from my flute, and I just want to play it more for her," the strange man said. "Liar! She hears no sound and cannot hear the melody from your flute. You are here to harm us," the maid said. Princess Adesua could hear their argument, and in excitement, she gestured to her maid to let the man be. She gestured to the man to continue blowing his flute. The man did, and as he blew, the sound became clearer and clearer to Princess Adesua. She enjoyed the melody, and then she began to dance and danced and danced to her heart's content. Her maid was amazed and full of joy at the strange occurrence. Princess Adesua went back home happy and with a changed countenance. She was no longer sad, as she could still hear the sound of the flutes, which made her dance more. Everybody in the palace was amazed at this sudden change in her. Nobody knew what could be the reason, as she had asked her maid to keep the meeting at the stream private. The sudden change in Princess Adesuwa made Queen Osarime uneasy, but she discarded the thoughts, happy that she would be reading off very soon. The next day, Princess Adesuwa ran to the stream again, hoping to meet the Fluteman, and there he was, playing melodiously again. Princess Adesuwa danced and danced again to her heart's content. When she was satisfied and exhausted, she thought to herself, I wish I could just tell him how grateful I am for making me happy at the last days of my life. It seemed as though the Fluteman could read her thoughts, so he asked her to speak, but she nodded that she could not. Try to just open your mouth and let the words come, the Fluteman said, encouraging her. Princess Adesuwa did as the Fluteman said, and as she opened her mouth, the words came. She could speak. She couldn't believe it, and so was her maid. She could speak. She screamed and jumped for joy. They ran back to the palace and went straight into the king's hut. Meanwhile, King Egwagi had fallen ill. He had developed a heart condition. When he realized he may be losing his only child, he was not aware of all that had happened in the previous day. Father, father, Princess Adesuwa called. I can speak. I can hear and speak, she said. The news quickened King Egwage's soul as he stood up and realized his daughter could speak. Princess Adesuwa narrated everything about the sacred beads and the events that followed. Osai was summoned, and it was later revealed that Queen Osarime was behind it. She was also behind Princess Adesuwa's inability to hear and speak. She had gotten a strong medicine from a wicked medicine man and had asked one of her loyal maids to put the potion in Princess Adesuwa's mouth immediately she was born, while she assisted the midwife as the midwife looked away. She was also behind the death of Princess Adesuwa's mother. Queen Osarime was stripped of her title and banished alongside her evil mates. The sacrifice sentence on Princess Adesuwa was renounced, as it was learned that she had not put on the sacred bead intentionally and willingly. The Fluteman was invited to the palace few days later. He told the people that the flute was a gift given to him by his aged great-grandmother. The flute had the power to heal anyone who has been afflicted by any strange or evil power. The Fluteman was asked to mention anything he wanted as a gift. He requested the hand of Princess Adesuwa in marriage. Princess Adesuwa readily agreed, for she had fallen in love with him right from the first day of their meeting. They got married, and years later they became king and queen after King Egwage's death. They had many children and lived happily ever after. Moral lessons. Number 1. Jealousy always makes one bitter. Queen Osarime was jealous and she became bitter. Number 2. Evil doesn't last forever, and evil people suffer at the end, just like Queen Osarime. Number 3. Those who support evil deeds will also perish with the evil doers, just like Queen Osarime's mates. I hope you have learned from this. What other moral lessons did you learn from the story? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video. Bye.